I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. This is your turn. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
Let's join our hearts together in prayer. And as we do so, let's take a breath. In the same way that I have entered this physical sanctuary, I now enter the sanctuary of my heart. With each breath, I move into a place of peace, a place of love, a place of knowing. I am one with the creator source of the universe. I am a unique expression of the eternal. I am peace. I am love. I am joy. And I am light. And so it is.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
Reverend Richard chose this poem in honor of Reverend Mcarthur. And I'm honored to say I wrote this last New Year's Eve. The heart is a portal, an invisible one to outer eyes, and yet legions of unseen angels are ushered in through it. When this portal opens and expands, all of nature is held in its realm. As the angels flow from their heart chambers, great joy and jubilation abound. Such a sound to be heard with silent, listening ears. Dancing and celebration reigns. Such a sight to be given to closed, seeing eyes. All of manner of being, of speaking and thinking and feeling honor their presence. Yes, the heart is a portal opened by your inner light.
light of mine. I'm gonna let it shine. Oh, this little light of mine. I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine. I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Woo! Thank you so much. Good morning, everybody. Wow, we have a couple of really exciting announcements today. We are going to begin with Nathaniel Uri, who has some information to share with everybody about an upcoming activity next week.
Okay. Nice. Last Wednesday, I came here to act as the official minister for the day. Yeah. For those who don't know what that is an experience offered by Richard at this year's auction. So I just got to see what he does every day and metaphorically walk in the very stylish shoes of Richard Held. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. As minister for the day, I was in charge of a very important decision regarding Giving Tree. A bit of background for those who don't know about this great event. On December 3rd, a large amount of the Uniteens of YOU are going to the mall to shop around for Giving Tree. Giving Tree is a charity event sponsored by Unity in Linwood. This event was started on the premise that lots of foster kids get donations, like teddy bears and children's clothes, but the teens are somewhat neglected. And who better to shop for teens than teens? All the teens in the youth program are encouraged to put themselves in the foster teen's shoes. What would I want if I was a foster teen? Since last year, the amount of teens in the youth program has doubled. Yeah, give me a thank you. Good. Given that, I made the decision, along with support of Richard, to double the amount that the church donates to this wonderful cause. I personally wanted to thank each and every one of you that donates and tithes to this church. Among other things, it gives us the opportunity to help these foster teens in need. Thank you.
So next weekend, the teens will be with us at the beginning. We will bless them, and they will be off and shopping at the mall. Something else really exciting is happening. We are preparing to do our annual Christmas pageant. The pageant will be coming up in 3 weeks, and today is our first day of, we're going to be presenting the script and starting to practice. And Angela Ekram is in the house back there, if you'd wave to us, Angela. Angela, many of you may not know this, Angela used to be the youth ed director at Unity in Everett a number of years ago, and she wrote a pageant there for them. And so she has pulled that out, and we've dusted it off, and we will be presenting a metaphysical Christmas story this year. And Angela will be directing, and Nathaniel Uri, you may not know this, is very involved in theater at school. He will be the assistant director of the pageant this year as well. So, all right, and now we'll move into our blessing. Will you lead the sign language part, and I'll do the words? Thank you for being our family. Thank you for being our friend. Thank you for blessing and teaching us. God bless you. Amen. Thank you all. I'm gonna let it shine. Oh, this little light of mine. I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine. I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine.
Well, good morning and welcome to Unity in Linwood. I'm so very glad that everyone is here. Those of you who are here physically, and we actually have a growing group and community who are with us virtually in Facebook land too. Hello. That's a fantastic thing. These principles, these practices are generating and being expressed throughout the community around the world. So that's a fantastic opportunity. At Unity in Linwood, we support and express a community of warm open-hearted welcome. And I hope that you feel that every time that you come here. We also are a place where spirituality meets real life. We know that we all have our real lives that we get up and live every day, and this is a place where we can learn practical tools and ideas and perspectives that can help us flourish in our lives. And we have a particular gift today to help us with some tools for that too. I'm very excited for you to hear some words from our guest speaker today. As a welcoming community, we not only welcome each other, but we also are welcoming and make welcome love in our lives. We open up to the energy that is available to us all the time with love. And there are some words that Charles Fillmore has about opening our hearts in prayer. It is the law of spirit that what we must be that which we would draw to us. If we would draw to us love, we must be love. Be loving and kind. If we would have peace and harmony in our environment, we must establish it within ourselves. One particular form of prayer that we offer at Unity is that of affirmative prayer. And Dr. Emily Cady offers this about affirmative prayer. By affirming, you put yourself in harmony with divine law, which is always working toward your good. If you would like to have something affirmed in prayer, there's a lot of opportunities to get support with that. There's a prayer card in the seat back in front of you. You can write that prayer on there, that prayer request, something that you want to have amplified in your life and shared among us for our prayer team, or something that's like a glitch or some area that you'd like support in. Write that on that prayer card and put it in the offering basket as it goes by later in the service, knowing that that gets lots of prayer attention. Or you can call our confidential prayer line anytime during the week, or leave a prayer request on our website. If you'd like a time of personal prayer, you can come to the front of the sanctuary after service and meet with one of our prayer chaplains. You'll recognize them. They're wearing purple prayer stoles around their neck. And today, actually, is Prayer Sunday. And what that means is that you are invited to join our prayer chaplains in the family room as well for what's called the Divine Wholeness Session. This is a silent, sacred time of being supported by a prayer chaplain as you open to the movement of the Holy Spirit within you. Today's affirmation is on the screen behind me, and as you read it to yourselves right now, I'm going to go ahead and just read it out loud once. Let's take it into our hearts, into our minds, and then I'm going to invite you, if you'd like, to stand and join with me. Divine love fills me with wisdom. I am wise and at peace. If you'd like, you can stand. And together, divine love fills me with wisdom. I am wise and at peace. And so it is. Let's take a few minutes to greet those around us, and then we'll come back together for some music.
When I was a young girl, my daddy told me a lesson he learned. It was a long time ago. If you want to have someone to hold on to, you're gonna have to learn to let go. You gotta sing, sing like you don't need the money or love. Like you'll never get hurt. You gotta dance like nobody's watching. Gotta come from the heart if you want it to work. Now here is the one thing I keep forgetting. When everything is falling apart in life as in love, you know I need to remember there's such a thing as trying too hard. All you gotta say, like you don't need the money or love, like you'll never get hurt. You gotta dance, dance, dance like nobody's watching. Gotta come from the heart if you want it to work. Take a little instrument. Well, now here is the one thing I keep forgetting. When everything is falling apart in life as in love, you know I need to remember there's such a thing as trying too hard. You gotta sing like you don't need the money. Dance like you'll never get hurt. You gotta dance, dance, dance like nobody's watching. Gotta come from the heart if you want it to work. Well, now here is the dance like you don't need the money or love, like you'll never get hurt. You gotta dance, dance, dance like nobody's watching. Gotta come from the heart if you want it to work. Yeah, it's gotta come from the heart if you want it to work. It's gotta come from the heart if you want it to work.
I love our guest musicians, Garnet Hundley and Jennifer Bundy. Backed up by the sweet sounds of Jonesy and Scott.
We had to repeat a bunch on that. Y'all just weren't going to sit down. Yeah, nice to be here. This song is from Jacques Brel, and it was written originally in French and then translated for those of us who don't speak French. And it is entitled, If We Only Have Love. If it were in the original French, it would be, if we have love only. It's a slight difference, but it's a powerful difference. If we have love only. I won't use those words, but if we only have love, then tomorrow will dawn, and the days of our lives will rise on that morn. If we only have love to embrace without tears, we will kiss with our eyes, we will sleep without tears. If we only have love, We can reach those in pain. We can heal all our wounds. We can use our own names. If we only have love, we can melt all the guns and then give the new world to our daughters and sons. If we only have love, with our arms open wide, then the young and the old will stand at our side. If we only have love, love that's falling like rain, then the parched desert earth will follow so green again. If we only have love for the songs that we sing, for the song that we sing, then we'll have a way out. If we only have love.
Wow. Fantastic. Reverend David Mcarthur writes that if that wisdom is available, it has to be quickly accessible in the midst of life's challenges where it can make a difference. He has spent the last 40 years exploring the secrets of human transformation, a journey which has led to the discovery of our spiritual hearts, the source of our deepest wisdom and the subject of this morning's lesson. All are welcome to continue to deepen this conversation during an afternoon workshop entitled The Heart Math Solution, Accessing Your Heart's Wisdom. In his words, it is time to enjoy the resilience, abundance, joy, and peace of heart-centered living. The time is now. Please welcome Reverend David Mcarthur.
Okay, let me just look at you, yeah. What a treat. I'm so grateful to be back here. This is a fabulous spiritual community and very dear to my heart. Following that beautiful music that calls us to that experience of love, let's enter into our time of prayer and meditation together. You would join me by beginning as we turn our attention within. If you would, touch your heart and just gently pretend to breathe through the heart as we bring our attention down to this point of connection with our spiritual self, with this nature of our being that is love. This connection through which love flows. Mother, Father, God, as we open to know you more deeply, as we enter in and continue this beautiful experience of gratitude and thanksgiving, we feel your love here and now. we let that love flow through our hearts to all those who are dear to us. We enfold them and bless them with this love. We know that it touches and lifts them, for we are one. We are one in this divine presence that unites us and flows freely between us. And with our hearts open, we take this moment to invite this love to touch each of us at depth, to fill ourselves with its vibrant energy of wholeness, to touch our minds with wisdom and understanding, to direct us to fulfill the sacred purposes for which each of us came into this life experience. And this love takes us forward in harmony and oneness with all that is before us in our lives now. Mother, Father, God, we rest for a moment in the sacred love of your presence, deeper than thought, deeper than words, deeper than feeling. We rest at one with you in sacred silence. Beloved presence, infinite love, Mother, Father, God, as you fill our hearts, our beings, our families, so from this sacred community, we now send this love forth. We send it to the places where we live and we work, these communities in which we live, for it flows forth with blessing, healing, peace. This love flows forth from our hearts and across this beautiful part of our country. It fills our country with its grace, healing, dissolving our fears and bringing forth our great compassion and wisdom. It blesses all in this world. And we know that we are joined by the hearts of people of all paths as we share this blessing in synagogues, mosques, temples, churches, those who gather on the hillsides, and this becomes a part of that love flowing through families And we send this love so that it moves about the earth, to bless the earth and to connect with the heart of every single person in the earth. For beloved presence, you are that love in every heart. And in this love, we are one. Divine love flows through my heart, enfolding and blessing the world. Divine love flows through my heart, enfolding and blessing the world. Please join me. Divine love flows through my heart, enfolding and blessing the world. And once again, divine love flows through my heart, enfolding and blessing the world. And for this love and our oneness in it and its oneness in us, we are so grateful. Amen. Thank you. Well, I've been enjoying however that divine conspiracy took place that made sure every year we get back to gratitude and being grateful and being thankful. Isn't that a wonderful thing? And you know what? It doesn't matter at all what your belief system is. You get into gratitude and things just change. And the truth is there's a marvelous reason for that. The feeling of gratitude, of thankfulness, of appreciation is a feeling of the heart. And it is one of the elements that we use to open the heart to connect with our own spiritual nature. Let me share an example with you. My son Peter lives in L.A., and he and his wife Julie have been there a while and had their some goals for their family, and one was to have a little income expansion. And Julie had been doing temp work at a financial services company and was offered a permanent job and a good salary and, very exciting offer. But as Julia comes home and she's telling it to Peter, she's pointing out that there's a reason why that job is open. It seems to not serve anybody very long. The people are difficult to deal with. It's, structurally it doesn't work. There's just, it's a very high stress experience. So here's this wonderful opportunity. She's not sure she should take it. And so she's worrying about, should I, shouldn't I, what'll happen? All those wonderful things the mind can worry about. And she not only has worry, but she begins to feel anxiety, fear. Have you had that experience? Yeah. And so she's going through this, and Peter begins to realize the tremendous stress and tension she's under. Now, fortunately, Peter knows what to do about that. When I spent my years at the Institute of Heart Math, Peter came and learned some of the science and skills that were there. So he knows how one can take and literally stop the experience of worry or anxiety within just a minute or two. It's not difficult to do. He knows how to do that, so he could help Julia do that. And then from there, one is able to call forth the very deepest levels of our wisdom. So whatever answer is there for Julia is available to her. Except for one thing. This wasn't the first time that Julia has been upset or worried about something. And Peter had tried before to suggest this way of working with things. And he learned he can be husband or teacher, but not both. And so it's very clear that as much as he has this wonderful knowledge, he doesn't get to use it. And so the result is Peter begins to feel powerless. Have you had somebody you really loved and they're in that struggle and they're worried or something or dealing with something very difficult and you can't do anything about it? And you're powerless and frustrated? And so as Peter is beginning to feel this angst himself, what happens is he suddenly realizes, wait a minute, now I'm the one who's upset. I know what to do about that. So he took, and his first step was just what we did a moment ago. He took and touched his heart. Because when we touch our heart, we begin to draw our awareness away from the brain's mechanism that is a part of what creates the anxiety. And so I pretend to breathe through the heart, which brings our attention and focuses it there. Then he took and he went into a very simple exercise. Took maybe a minute, maybe two, that activated his heart. Now, we know our heart's always working at doing its beating and circulating the blood. But one of the amazing discoveries, and it was some time ago, it really has been brought into the awareness and advanced by the research from the HeartMath Institute, is that there is a separate domain of intelligence, a deeper wisdom within us that we access through our heart. Now, HeartMath calls that heart intelligence. Okay, and they're scientific, so they try to not use those churchy words. Okay, but I've worked with them for many years, and they grant me a lot of latitude. It's our spiritual self. This change within the heart allows this connection with our spiritual self. So Peter was able to call on that spiritual self. As he went through that experience of opening the heart, what happens is the spiritual self begins to expand its presence in our consciousness. The result was he was no longer anxious. He wasn't worried. He wasn't upset. He wasn't feeling powerless. He was feeling centered and connected. And his feeling now was not anxiety for Julia. It was compassion and connection. That's a different world. But there's also the ability to call this wisdom forth. Because whatever happens in your life, your spiritual self is right there, ready and willing, should you happen to ask, to help us deal with it effectively. Because it's committed to helping us fulfill the purposes for which we came, the greater purposes and the moment-by-moment purposes. So Peter asked. He called forth this wisdom into his conscious awareness, and what he immediately realized was, you should ask Julia if you can hold her. So he did. He said, Julia, would you like to be held? He said, yes. So he just put his arms around her and just held her, and he could feel that change. You know, as the tension and that begins to leave, and she began to relax and breathe a little easier, and in a few minutes she said, thank you, I feel better. And thank you for not saying anything. Now his wisdom had given him that bit too, because he is his father's son, and that's liable to happen. So, what happens is we have the ability to connect with our spiritual self. Now, we can tell if we're connected with it or not. When we are connected, we feel a tremendous experience of peace, of clarity, of connection. When we're not connected, which there is a particular mechanisms within us that really disconnect us. Now, let me clarify connection a little bit. The Spirit is omnipresent. We can't get out of it. However, we can have it at completely different levels of our consciousness. That's our choice. That's part of this planet of choice that we're playing with. Okay, so the experience of connection brings the feeling of this harmony that exists within the spiritual nature. This disconnection is when we get into our worries and our anxieties and our blames and our frustrations and our upsets and those marvelous thought loops we do, you know, where you keep going over the conversation. Now, you may not have said it in the first place, and you would have been so brilliant had you done it the way you... And you keep going over it. Now, it doesn't get better, and it doesn't change anything, but, you know, it might wake you up again in the middle of the night so you can go over it again. Okay, that's not connection. Anybody have some of those could show up at times? Okay, so I just want to make sure we're relevant here. What happens is when you decided, okay, you're the spiritual being. Okay, you're a child of God. We know that. I mean, that's just Unity 101. We're a spiritual being. We're a child of God. And you chose to incarnate into this physical form, to explore the third dimension with this marvelous humanist thing. Okay, and you had great wisdom. You were connected with infinite wisdom when you did that. But when you came into this body thing, okay, you accepted its way of connecting to the third dimension. We have an interpreter up here called our brain, and it takes data that comes in and it figures out, okay, lots of things. And one thing that it figures out, which isn't very accurate, is, well, we're separate. You're there and I'm here. And it doesn't see anything connecting us. And that's not true. But it's third dimensional. It's a third dimensional interpreter. You are a lot more than a third dimensional being. But as long as this default mechanism is operating, we can't see that. There is a different wisdom within us. Interestingly enough, even science has identified that it exists, that it's measurable, it can describe the difference in how we experience it. And it has made very clear the access code. And that's what I really want to share with us today, because knowing how to connect with your spirit is one of the most meaningful and fulfilling parts of our spiritual journey, but of our life, period. So in how to do that, let me share it again in terms of an experience. We, many years before, when Peter was in, I think, the first year of high school, and our daughter Anna was in middle school, and it was my job to get the kids down from the house to the bus. We lived in the Santa Cruz Mountains, so we had one of those little windy roads through the redwoods to drive on. And we had an affirmation that we used every morning, again and again. It was, hurry up or you'll miss the bus. So you folks that have used affirmations know what we created. We showed up and the bus had already gone, and you know, it was after that, find your shoe, where's your homework, what you know, and all that sort of stuff that families go through. And now we I've talked a number of times to kids about being ready and having their stuff so that this wouldn't happen. And now I'm at an absolutely impossible situation. I have to go on and be at work, and they have to get to school. So I thought of making them walk. It's 8 miles. And even though that was kind of a pleasant thought at the moment, I thought, no, that's really not going to work. And so finding myself, sometimes I go to the spiritual after I've exhausted every other possibility. And so I thought, well, what does my spiritual self have to say? So I went through these steps of connection. And again, the first to just touch the heart. Begin that movement of awareness, pretending to breathe through the heart as begin to draw the energy into this area. And then to activate that connection. There are feelings that we experience through the heart. Those feelings cause a transformation of the entire human system. It is amazing, level after level after level of human transformation, measurable. Those feelings cause the heart to change its pattern. Those feelings, one of the easiest way to find that feeling, whenever you feel one of those feelings, and there's a breadth of them, with it is the feeling of fullness in your heart. One of the things that we experience at Thanksgiving is appreciation and gratitude. That's part of the heart feelings. When you remember those people that are such a treasure, those beautiful moments, doesn't your heart feel full? That's literally causes a change within the patterns of the heart, changes the brain, changes system after system after system. And we have then connection. Because again, HeartMath calls that heart intelligence, but what happens when that change takes place within our biophysical instrument is that the spiritual is then free to move forward into consciousness. So what I did was go to a memory. It's one of the easiest ways to get there, a memory of a moment when my heart was full. And I remember just being grateful for a time that we had a couple of days before. We were down by a creek there in the redwoods. We were just playing and laughing and enjoying the absolute beauty of that countryside. And just having a fabulous time as a family. In my heart, I just remembered, wow, I could feel that. And suddenly, I was no longer tense, upset, irritated. I was at peace. For those of you that have tried to get your kids out of the house in the morning, you know that's a miracle. I was at peace. Now, I still had an impossible decision before me, but from that place, you can access this wisdom of your spirit. And it always has a way to take you forward successfully. It didn't bring you into life to fail or into any experience, but to be a contributing part of a greater wholeness. So we can call that. So I asked for that direction. And it was very clear. I was suddenly aware I need to drive the kids to school. I can be late. Now, it's true, I had a meeting that was going to start in a few minutes. I was supposed to run it, but these are grown-up professional adults I was meeting with. They can exist successfully without me. I'm pretty good at showing up on time. I bet they aren't going to fire me. And then I was aware of something else. Because what happens with this intelligence, because we're no longer playing the you're there and I'm here game, we connect with the world around us. And in that place, I moved, instead of upset at my children, into compassion. And I realized how upset they were. They'd had their parents nagging them, and then what they were supposed to succeed at, they just failed miserably. Guilt, and all those things I've successfully taught them. And they had a very difficult day at school. Can you imagine what it would be like to go to high school, middle school at this time? And at this, we're in a different culture, a different time. It's a challenge. And what was important wasn't my punctuality. It was that they have a good day. So I could turn around and said, okay, I'm going to drive you. I would like for you to get there ready to have a good day at school. So I know you're upset. I'm going to put on some music as we drive along so you can relax, get ready for your day. Now, when we get home tonight, we need to talk about how to take care of this. Are you agreed? And they said yes. It's a simple, ordinary, everyday situation. But it's experienced from two completely different consciousnesses. One directed by my brain and how it functions by itself. The other directed by my spiritual self when I take the time to connect and invite it into directing my life. Spiritual connection. Simple. Start. Bring the attention here. Touch the heart. Pretend to breathe through the heart. It's just a wonderful point of shift. And then that memory of the moment when your heart was full. That gratitude we've been practicing over food and abundance and family and simplicity and beauty. Now I'll tell you what that feeling is. It is the access code to your spiritual self. Not new. It's called love. Every feeling that fills your heart is a part of love. Appreciation, thanksgiving, compassion, care, joy, serenity. All of these are within this thing that we call love. And you can access them by that memory, spiritual connection. Now what happens is, after the second step, there is another step to call forth this spiritual presence into conscious awareness, its direction. Because I don't have the time to go into that now. It is in the book, and it's something we're going to work on in the workshop, so you can do it. And it is specific, and it is very effective. So I would encourage you to go forth and let that part develop. But my goal here today was for us to understand spiritual connection itself, because that is really what we are trying as a nation to attune to on Thanksgiving. Okay, it's what we as individuals attune to when we take that moment. And we go to that feeling, not the thought. I've thought of many things I'm grateful for without feeling it. I remember when I had to write the thank you note to my grandmother for the bike. Now, I was really grateful for the bike, but not for writing the note. I was feeling, thoughts don't do it. Okay? The feelings of the heart. Now, not all feelings are feelings of the heart. Okay? If you're angry, it's not in your heart. You may sense it there, but it's caused by the way the brain processes, and we'll explore that this afternoon. Touch your heart. Let's just share together a feeling of thanksgiving, feeling of gratitude. Gratitude for this beautiful place, for the people that show up and support us on this spiritual journey, the people we have the honor to support, the love that flows through us, and that we get a chance to see in the beautiful beings around us. Somehow or other, that distance dissolves, and we're connected, because the truth is, we are one, and we are so loved. Bless you.
Thank you, David. It's a powerful process, powerful tool. I was telling him first service that there was something that happened when I looked out and saw him and he touched his heart. I hadn't touched mine yet, and something activated in my heart in the process. I'm imagining that's maybe the next level of understanding of this, is what we can share with one another when we bring our own heart into coherence. Yes. So thank you so much for that. Now is a time in our service where we have an opportunity to give in support of this ministry, of this message, of this music, of this community. We're so thankful for every gift that's given. I want to share some words by Ralph Waldo Emerson on the habit of giving and being grateful. He says this: cultivate the habit of being grateful for every good thing that comes to you. Give thanks continuously. And because all things have contributed to your advancement, you should include all things in your gratitude. Thank you for your gifts.
Blessed always, blessed always are the arms of God surround us. Let our joy be so triumphant that we rest in God and say Amen. Blessed always, blessed always are the arms of God surround us. Let our joy be so triumphant that we rest in God and say Amen.
Let's bless these gifts together. Thank you, God, that your living spirit of truth expressing through us blesses and multiplies all that we are, all that we have, all that we give, and all that we receive. And so it is. Thank you, ushers. Every Sunday, we love to open our hearts to one another, and we love to open our hearts to anyone who might be visiting us for the first time. If this is your first time to Unity in Linwood and you would like us to recognize you, if you just put your hand in the air and we'll give you some applause. Anyone here for the first time? Yes, good to see you. We're so glad you're here. In the seat back in front of you, there is a newcomer's information card and also a stay in touch card where you can leave your contact information. And if anyone's newer and hasn't done that, what that will prompt is a couple emails a month, both informational and inspirational, to keep you current on things happening at Unity in Linwood. Also, in the information rack just to the left of the door as you leave the sanctuary is a DVD that tells you a little bit more about our community as well. And you are, and everyone is invited to hospitality after our, in our friendship hall after service. The Board of Trustees is hosting that for us today, and all Donations given support our UIL building fund. We thank you for your generosity. Also, David Mcarthur's workshop this afternoon, one more announcement about that. Your Spiritual Heart is at 1 to 3 today in our sanctuary, and tomorrow evening, cut through for the Advanced Heart Math workshop at 7 p.m. here in the sanctuary as well, and both are offered on a love offering basis. Thank you, David. Today's flowers are dedicated by Nadine Pierre for Devon and by Barbara Thorpe in loving honor of John Thorpe's birthday. Thank you for that. And if you'd like to make a flower dedication, please register for a suggested love offering of only $10. And please join Mother Kathy Chalmers for her liturgical mass this Saturday at 5:30 p.m. Mother Kathy's liturgy, including Holy Communion, is open to all persons offering inclusive spirituality and food for the journey. And please grab a local humanitarian outreach ministry postcard from the back with the list of wonderful service projects throughout the month of December, including the South Snohomish Toy Shop. Say that 5 times fast. That'll be fun. In partnership with Trinity Lutheran Church and Bears in Every Chair. And if you're interested in joining our Christmas choir, grab a rehearsal schedule, postcard from the Welcome and Information Station. And if you enjoy decorating, deck the halls this Saturday beginning at 10 a.m. at our Christmas decorating party. And join Health and Wellness co-chair Nancy Joy Callahan for The Body is the Temple of the Soul on Wednesday, December 13th at 7 p.m. The theme of December's movement experience is Season of Light. And for details and registration specific to all of these events, please visit our Welcome and Information Station in the back. Registration in advance is always helpful for planning.
Ken?
Yes, Barbara.
We need some strong, handsome men on Saturday to put up the tree because it's big.
Okay. I'll see what my son is doing on Saturday. You'll see. How about that? Maybe he has some friends too. And please visit our spiritual gift shop to receive your free Unity Advent booklet and receive 20% off on all your purchases today. And Garnet and Jennifer have CDs available in Friendship Hall, and David Mcarthur also has a book available as well. Of course, all good things that are happening at Unity in Linwood can be found in your printed program by visiting our Facebook page and the calendar page of our website at unityinlinwood.org. And now if you'd please stand, we'll join together in singing our peace song.
Let there be peace on earth and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, a peace that was meant to be. With God as Creator, united all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be a joyous hope. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth and let it begin with me.
Now let's take this energy of love and of peace and anchor it and amplify it right now, project it into our day and forward into our week, confident that it will guide our every step. And if you know of anyone who would like to be in this energy of love and needs our support with that, let's go ahead and offer their first name into that field right now. And for those names offered, both spoken and unspoken, and for every beautiful soul in this room, we honor and give thanks. And together, we will join in our prayer protection for all of us. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Thanks for coming today. Have a great Sunday.
Told me a lesson he learned. It was a long time ago. If you want to have someone to hold on to, you're gonna have to learn to let go. You gotta sing like you don't need the money or love, like you'll never get hurt. You gotta dance like nobody's watching. Gotta come from the heart. If you want it to work, oh, you gotta sing sometimes. If you don't need the money or love, sometimes if you'll never get hurt, you gotta dance, dance, dance like nobody's watching. Gotta come from the heart. If you want it to work, yeah, it's gotta come from the heart. If you want it to work, it's gotta come from the heart. If you want it to